So that everybody was very actively involved in the discussions. Everybody means the senior researchers and the junior researchers. It was a perfect mix. And the scientific outcome was that we can use the concept of households and coercive labor regimes for getting to a better understanding of strong asymmetric dependencies in these kind of social economic units. So it was and the other outcome is that we will have a volume of collected articles, but we would like to write the introduction and the outlooks kind of a collaborative way. So I think it's not that the editors are going to write everything, but that the whole group will contribute to these introductory and outlook chapters of the volume. So that is a nice outcome. And the friends from the International Institute of Social History are now welcome to continue this kind of collaboration in Bonn or another time here in Amsterdam as well.
I think it was a very good conference, particularly because the participants were very loyal to the setup of the conference. They really were interested in each other's papers, asked a lot of questions, a lot of discussions, animated discussion. It was also clearly visible this afternoon when we initially had planned to break up in different sessions, and then spontaneously a very lively plenary discussion evolved. So these were clear signs that it was a very good conference. We also ended up with very clear conclusions and a framework for an introduction for a edited volume. So I'm very happy with what we did and what happened. What I learned myself from this is that you can talk about households as the minimal unit of analysis to study social relations, labor relations, effective relations. So you can talk a meaningful way about what keeps a plantation together, what keeps a royal householding together. An iron factory in Sweden, places, locations which look extremely different but still have lots of commonalities.
My name is Elise van Eijden-Meerkerk. I'm a professor of economic and social history at Utrecht University in the Netherlands. And my work has always been on labor history, and in recent years has become more about colonial and global history. So this workshop for me was very interesting and also very important. Interesting because it really captures a really wide range of case studies ranging from ancient Sumer to 20th century Russia, of how within households coercion has been used in labor relations. And I think it's fascinating that we've had such a wide range of papers, but that they were still there was a very much a connection between a lot of our work. What I take away from the conference in general is that definitions keep on recurring as being important, but also it's important to think beyond the boundaries of your own knowledge. So a lot of people claiming that we should have a very narrow definition of the households are usually people who actually work on European households, whereas people who work outside of the global north tend to be more willing to have a broader concept of the household. So that was what struck me. For my own work, I hope this conference will provide me with a lot of knowledge and a lot of inspiration for designing a broader research project on the household and coercion and power relations.
So my name is Karen Hofmeester. I'm the Director of Research here at the International Institute of Social History. First of all, I'm very glad that we could organize this conference together with the Bonn Center. I'm very happy to see all the colleagues from Bonn here. And of course, your center is very strong on, let's say, pre-early modern global history of slavery and other forms of unfree labor, which is not, I mean, this early period is not our expertise. So I learned a lot today. I think also the discussions on what actually is a household, what is householding, what are householders, how does a household look like over time, but also in space, how big is a household in space? So what is the definition? I think tomorrow we will split into smaller groups and then we talk about concepts again, which will be very interesting. So yeah, I really liked the first day and I think it's a very fruitful conference.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Chuchek, Distinguished Professor of Colonial Latin American History, Director of the Honors College and Latin American Studies Center at Missouri State University. You asked me about what I felt about this workshop and seminar and conference we have here today about the households as a construct of coercive labor system. Fascinating. For me, I found this to be an incredibly energetic synergy between global history, anthropology, sociology, economics. We had people from many backgrounds that came together and really opened, I think, all of our eyes about what issues we have in common in terms of understanding coercive labor beyond just slavery and looking at how the household can be used as a particular construct to examine the nature of coercive labor regimes. I came away, I think, with some wonderful comparative information on case studies I never would have looked at before. Example is the Yoruba case in Nigeria, very similar to the case of the contact and colonial era Maya that I study. So I thought that the Institute here of Social History and the Bonn Center for Dependency and Slavery Studies it was a perfect partnership, I think. Together they were able to bring scholars from all over the world to really look at a single question, to look at the construct of how households could be used as a useful means of examining the nature of forced labor and specifically the economic impact of the household broadly defined. And we saw papers that went from, as I mentioned, the case of the Yoruba all the way to ancient Sumer and Acadia. A fascinating look, 5,000-year look at the concept of the household as a useful construct for analyzing labor history and economic history.